Hey y'all, currently out walking the dogs. Larry, Moe, and Curly. Obviously not their real names, but if I had known that I would have ended up with 3 boys, Lord knows that's what I would have named them. But I'm going to finish up walking them, and then once I get home, we can get into what the heck happened to your neck. Okay, we are back from the walk. They are all sleeping, thankfully. Okay, so first of all, my name is Shelby. I don't know if I've been good about saying that in the past videos. But my name is Shelby. I have epilepsy, and you'll realize in a second why that plays into this video. So my neck, it has some scarring. It's not necessarily your atypical neck. And I don't even know. There we go. That's a little better. So if you've ever seen a scar like this, you already know what happened. 3rd-degree burns happened. Don't recommend. What had happened was we were on a houseboat trip in Lake Powell in Arizona. We had parked for the night, parked the boat for the night. We'd gotten out and we made this massive bonfire. We're enjoying the scenery, enjoying the company. We're having a good time. And for whatever reason, as they do sometimes, seizures just decide to come in and be like, hey, let's stop having a good time. While I was sitting at the bonfire, I don't remember this at all because I wasn't conscious. I was not conscious. I stood up. I was having a seizure at this point, and I just fell face first into the bonfire. We built a big, hot bonfire, and I fell face first into it. Not good. And thankfully, my husband, he walked right into the fire and got me out. So, kind of a hero there. But I was in there long enough to obviously do a little damage. I burned my neck. I had 3rd-degree burns on my neck. It's all of this right here where it's still red. It will always be red. I got 2nd-degree burns all down my chest. I had 3rd and 2nd-degree burns on my hands. Although there's not a lot of residual scarring left on my hands, I did have to get skin grafts on my hands. I had 2nd-degree burns all over my face. I ended up with ashes behind my eye, which that hurt. And one of the problems was, we're in Lake Powell. We don't have cell phone service. There's no one here. We can't call 911. We can't call anyone. So we get into the boat and we start driving. At this point, I'm in and out of consciousness. I remember waking up and they told me, you got burned. This is bad, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really feeling anything at this point because shock has, settled in. I'm not feeling much. So in my head, I'm like, what are you talking about? We're fine. It's not a big deal. Burns? Where are we going? It's midnight. I will say one thing that I did feel was the ashes behind my eye. So I remember the whole time when we're driving, the whole time I'm like, my eye is just hurting so bad. My husband was trying to wash it out. Nothing was helping. But I was in and out of consciousness. So I would feel it and then I'd kind of pass out. And then I'd feel it and then I'd kind of pass out. At some point, apparently we found someone and we were able to get help. And I was actually airlifted out of Lake Powell. Barely remember walking up to the helicopter. I do remember one thing in the helicopter. I remember waking up and I was wearing one of my favorite black jackets. And I woke up and it doesn't bother me that I'm burned. It doesn't bother me that I'm in a helicopter. That's not a big issue, but some stranger's over here and he's cutting up my jacket. Because, they have to cut off your clothes when things happen like this. And then I wake up and I'm just like, bro, not cool. That's my jacket. What are you doing? Like, I just met you. You can't just cut off my clothes. What's happening? And he was like, You're being airlifted to the hospital. It's gonna be okay. Tried to explain the situation. I don't care about the situation right now, okay? This is my favorite jacket. I mean, you're over here cutting it up. Excuse me. The poor soul, he was so sweet, and he was like, okay, I won't cut it off anymore. Just lean up a little bit and we'll take the rest of it off, but I need to get some IVs in you. You need some fluids. And I was like, okay, I can lean up. You can just take it off. Why didn't you do that to the other side? I wasn't mean to him at all. I was just super in and out of it and confused as to why this guy is cutting off my jacket, my favorite jacket. So we get to the hospital. I have no memory of this. I have no memory of the helicopter landing. No memory of that whatsoever. I have basically no memory of the first couple days at the hospital. I was at a children's hospital in Vegas. I only stayed at this hospital for 3 days before they could get me placed at an actual burn unit. This was just the closest hospital they could get me to, get me stabilized, and then transfer me somewhere that could actually handle the burns. But I was at this children's hospital in their ICU. I don't remember a lot from that hospital. I do remember that the TV only had 3 channels, and I thought that was kind of annoying. And that's about it. I still had no idea that I had been burned. And at one point, and I think the nurse, she's at a children's hospital. She doesn't deal with burns very often. But my husband, because they had to, my husband wasn't here. No one was here at this point because they had to get the boat back. And if you've ever been on a houseboat, I mean, they top out at like 25 miles an hour. And we had been on the river or on the lake for 3 days at this point. So they were far away and they had to drive all the way to Vegas. So it took them a little while to actually get to the hospital. The nurse comes in and she's like, hey, we just got a call. Your husband's going to be here today. Do you want to take a shower? Sure, I'll take a shower. Now that I think about it, I feel like it's been a while since I did that. Hop into the shower, get all naked and get into the shower, and oh my gosh, it felt like I was bathing in acid. If you've ever taken a shower with a sunburn, imagine it times 10,000. And I'm still in and out of it, and at this point I'm on a decent amount of pain meds too. I still don't totally comprehend everything that's going on. All I know is this shower sucks. But I do it. I wash my hair and I get all, fancy because my husband's coming to see me. This is fun. I don't know where I am or where he's been or why he's coming to see me because don't we live together? But whatever. I'll take a shower. And then I get out of the shower. I'm kind of woken up from the water, shower kind of revitalizes you, get you woken up. Get my towel, and there's a mirror in this bathroom, and I take the towel and I wipe off the mirror, and my face, as you're seeing it right now, is completely gone. That's what I realized, the gravity of the situation. Because my face was completely swollen. I mean, it was out to here. Unimaginable swelling. My eyebrows are gone. My cheeks, my skin, red, super red, but also extremely just pale white. And I am just flabbergasted. I was in the bathroom for a little while, kind of coming to terms with what's happened. This is really bad. And then it hits me. I don't know who's looking back at me because my face it's gone. I don't know if I'm ever going to see my face again. And this is a lesson that I learned. This is one of many lessons I learned from this whole thing. Appreciate your face. Even if there's things about it that you don't like, appreciate it because you're used to it. It's you. And if you ever lost it, it's terrible. Feeling like you're never going to see your face again, it's this horrible wake-up call. All of those times where you criticized little things, my nose is too big, my chin isn't defined enough, my forehead isn't the right shape. All of those things that I had criticized over the years, I felt so stupid for them. Because now, I mean, I legitimately looked like a monster. It was scary. And it's what was in place of the face that I had spent so much time criticizing and critiquing and not liking. And why can't I look like her or her? They have perfect faces and I'm stuck with this. I try really hard not to do that anymore because I know that anything can happen tomorrow and I might lose my face again. So, lesson number one that I learned from that whole thing: appreciate your face. It's yours. It's you. Appreciate it. So after that little wake-up call, the big wake-up call, my husband gets there. He brings me this dachshund who sits on my desk all the time. I clung to this dachshund in the hospital like it was my literal lifeline because it was the only thing that I had that was mine. And I was hospitalized for 2 months and it was mine. So after the children's hospital, my husband and I leave. We go to the UC San Diego Burn Center. And fast forward a little bit, I'm in the ICU for a little while. That's where I get a lot of my surgeries. They actually cut right here. You can kind of see it's still pretty scarred up right there. And it's all kind of bubbly right here. They had to cut the skin right here and pull it down and kind of wash out behind my eye because there were a bunch of ashes back there. I got a skin graft on this eyebrow and then skin grafts on my hands. Pretty much the only thing left to do was the skin graft on my neck. I was in, like I said, in the ICU for a while. This is where another life lesson came in because I'm not like super happy about this situation. I'm a little bummed out about this. Like, this is not fun. At one point, one of the ICU nurses told me about the guy who was in the room next to me in the ICU. She didn't tell me his name or anything, but she did tell me a little bit about his story. The guy next to me was 89% burned. He had been put into a medically induced coma for 7 months. He had missed Christmas, possibly had missed Thanksgiving. It was a whole new year that he missed. He had missed his birthday and his son's birthday. And they weren't thinking he was going to be able to wake up for at least another month or so. Just in terms of healing and scarring, he was going to have a huge recovery process. I stopped feeling bad for myself then. So that was another lesson. Yes, this is bad. Yes, this isn't fun. But I need to appreciate that it could be so much worse. I'm okay. There's a lot of people that are worse off than me. And I need to, kind of out of respect and honor for those people that are suffering way more than I am, instead of being kind of down all day, let's appreciate the fact that I can get out of bed and walk. This guy can't. That's enough. Now, one of the scary parts about this burn was its placement, because obviously it's on my neck. It's on my esophagus. What's the esophagus connected to? Well, pretty much everything. So they needed to get a graft soon because they were really worried about infection. Well, they couldn't find a skin donor fast enough for this large of an area. And finally, it was taking too long, and they finally made the decision that I'm gonna have to be my own donor. And typically they don't do a skin graft this big because it was up to my chin. It's hard to see, but it does go up to my chin and then all the way down here. And they typically don't do a skin graft that large. But we were really flirting with time here. We were really flirting with infection. So they went ahead and they decided to go ahead, do the skin graft. They took it from my left thigh. And this is when I learned exactly what pain is. Because that skin graft Oh my gosh. The skin graft was the worst part. They put this film over the skin graft to help it heal and keep it clean and sterile. But the film's got to come off at some point, and it really does kind of just grow into your skin. And they got to rip it off. I have never felt so much pain in my entire life. And you know it's going to be bad because they come in, they're like, okay, it's time to take that off. And you're like, this is kind of like a Band-Aid. Why are 4 guys walking into my room to take off a Band-Aid? A big Band-Aid, but a Band-Aid. The doctor was very real with me. He said, I'm just going to be real with you. This is going to be terrible. You are going to beg for me to stop, and I'm not going to. I'm going to rip it off so it's just done. And I'm like, okay. Okay. And I'm like, so what are they here for? And he said, they're going to hold you down. I'm like, oh, this is gonna suck, isn't it? He said, grip the mattress, because if you don't grip the mattress, you will poke holes into your hands. And I'm glad that he did that because I would have. He said, squeeze onto the mattress. Do not clench your fists. And this guy's going to hold down your feet. This guy's going to hold down your trunk. And this guy's going to hold down your shoulders and your head. I'm like, oh, okay. This is really going to suck. This is going to be really bad. And it was. I don't even know how long it took them to pull this thing off. It felt like it took 30 minutes. It might have taken 15 seconds. It was almost an out-of-body experience. It is pain. You can hear how bad it hurts. It is crazy, mind-blowing pain. You can see the pain. You can hear the pain. It's encompassing every cell in your body. And I just prayed to die at that point. I was like, I've been trying really hard to be strong and be positive about this whole thing. This was the last straw. I can't take this. Like, if you can imagine what it would feel like if someone just peeled off your skin. That's exactly what it felt like. After this, they told me, okay, 100% bed rest. And that confused me because I was like, I've pretty much been on bed rest. They also told me, when you need to go to the bathroom, ring your little bell. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can do that. I thought when they told me to ring the bell, it meant that they were going to help me get up because I was barely weight bearing at all and go to the bathroom because the bathroom's like right there. I was wrong. I rang the bell. She came in and I was like, I gotta go potty. And she's like, oh, it's cool. No problem. And she bends down. She hands me a pan. I'm like, oh. Has that been under there this whole time? Because I swear I didn't see it. Also, do you expect me to TT in this little pot in my own bed? You think you are? Ooh, okay. So I humored her that one time. And it hurt so bad to try to maneuver in my bed. And I'm not a guy. I can't, girls, this stuff is harder for us. I'm maneuvering and this is not fun. This hurts a lot. And I humor her. I TT in her little pan. She brings it out to the hallway for everyone to see. There's no secrets in the hospital. Cool. I lean back in my bed and I'm starting to think about this situation that I have found myself in. Because here's the thing. I was on bed rest for 2 weeks. At some point within those 2 weeks, you're going to think that more than just a little TTing is going to happen in that pan. That's not an option. That's not going to happen. So I make a promise to myself right then and there. The whole bedpan thing. Nope. We're not doing that. Woke up in the morning and I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm not ringing my bell because I know what happens when I ring my bell. They bring me a pan. I don't want the pan. I get up and I start making the trip to the bathroom. I was a vet tech for 7 years. The IV that I was plugged into is the same one we used on animals. So I knew exactly how to work that IV. I unplugged it from the wall. I knew how to work it. I knew that if I unplugged it from the wall, it's gonna start screaming. So I muted my IV machine and wrapped up the cord and started walking. And Lord have mercy, that hurt so bad. But so did going in the bedpan. So this is worth it. So I'm doing this for a little while. I've got my groove on, you know, I've got the IV machine figured out. We're cool. They catch me. I didn't realize that nurses keep a record of every time you go to the bathroom. Crap. So a nurse comes in, she's like, hey, we have like no record of you going to the bathroom today. Did you go to the bathroom? And I was like, I did. And that's not a lie because I did go to the bathroom. They were on to me. Nurses are not stupid. So I'm assuming this nurse went and asked all the other nurses, hey, who didn't record this? And they said, she didn't go to the bathroom on my shift. Mine either. The next day, she comes in again. She's like, hey, day number 2, we still don't have any record of you going to the bathroom. What's going on? But they were on to me now, so I had to kind of change up my strategy. Instead of muting the IV machine, because it does make noises, you know, beep, 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 I just took it out of my arm. I know how to, you know, you clamp it up and you just pop it out a little bit. You don't take the needle out, but you do take the little IV line out. But now I've lost my walker, so I'm kind of like meandering, holding on to the side of my bed, trying to get to the bathroom, which was at the end of my bed. Not fun. Hurt really bad. They catch me again. And they're like, listen. Like, I can't use the pan. I can't do it. Finally, they're like, okay, fine. They brought me a walker. And I was like, I can work with that. I can do that. And they said, do press your call button and we will help you with the walker go to the bathroom. Deal. I will so work with that. Yes. And Lord have mercy, this walker made it so much easier to just... It was so bad. But after that, you know, spent most of my time just chilling out in bed, using my walker, and healed up. I can't say I'm too, you know, not too bad. They weren't expecting me to have full range of my neck. And I do. It gets a little tight right here. But yeah, the biggest lesson that this taught me is to just appreciate the day that you're given, the moment that you're given. Because you legitimately don't know if you're getting another one. This could be your last moment. I wasn't doing anything reckless when I got burned. I was sitting around a campfire with a bunch of friends, and that could have been my last campfire. So now, even on bad days, I try to appreciate the fact that I had the opportunity to have a bad day, because some people didn't. And that's just life. Some people did not get the opportunity that you are getting, even on bad days. And now, of course, it's okay to not be, you know, super ecstatic about the bad day that you're having, because that's not fun. But I really try to just take a step back, humble myself, and think, there's a lot of people out there that didn't get to have this day at all. Bad or good, they didn't get to have it. And I did. And that's something to be thankful for. And I've had a few other seizures that 100% could have taken me out as well. I've had one while I was driving. That was 13 years ago. And then at one point, this was in high school, I was cutting up an apple and I had a seizure with a knife in my hand. And that scar's gone now. We've replaced it. We've upgraded it. But I, you know, had a seizure with a knife in my hand and I cut right through my throat. Luckily, I missed a very important artery that's right there. Still red everywhere, but didn't hit that artery. And at this point, I was home alone. So if I had hit that artery, there was no one that was coming to save me. That would have been the end of me. So there's been a lot of instances where it could have ended and it didn't. I try really hard to wake up every day and be thankful that I've been given a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth and a sixth and a seventh and lots of chances to just keep living. All of this stuff that could have ended it for me has made me realize that growing old, it's not something that you have to do. It's something you get to. Growing old is a privilege. And there's a lot of people that don't get to do that. I feel like a lot of people legitimately hate aging and they feel so bad about aging and they dread their birthday and they dread getting a year older. Try to appreciate it because it's such a privilege. It's not something everyone gets to do. So on your next birthday, don't think of your older age as a burden or this is bad, I'm getting old, oh no, like this sucks. It doesn't. It really doesn't. The people who something happened to them at 19 or, I was 23, I was 23 when this happened. If this had taken me out at 23, I would have loved to see 53. What do I look like at 53? What do I look like at 83? What would that have looked like? I almost didn't get to see it. And there's a lot of people that don't. Try really hard not to get too down on yourself when you're getting older. It's a great thing to be able to age. It really is. You got to see what you're like at this time of your life. That's amazing. And that should always, you should really try to be happy about that because it's such a privilege to grow old. Okay, that's all from me. That is the story of what the heck happened to your neck. 3rd-degree burns and a really big bonfire and a seizure just happened to my neck. I love you guys and I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Be happy that you got this day. Even if your boss was... Even if your kids are screaming, your dogs are being booty holes and you're just sick of it. It's okay to be sick of it, but take a little moment to appreciate that you got to be sick of it. And don't worry about aging. It's not a big deal. It's awesome. And I will catch y'all later. Bye. While you like and subscribe, please enjoy this short clip of Murray's post-bath routine.